Do you have a neighbor who's constantly calling you up and asking for help? Or a friend who keeps calling you wanting to talk on the phone and you just don't have the time, can't take the time? So what do you do? Well, this morning I want to talk about setting boundaries. That's the answer. It's learning how to set boundaries. Hi, good morning. I'm Coach Ted. Welcome to Coffee with Coach Ted. As I said, this morning I want to talk about setting boundaries. Recently I was talking to a client who has a neighbor who keeps calling her up, wanting to talk on the phone or wanting her to come over to the house for dinner and then hang around and talk afterwards. And my client is very busy. She's working 2 jobs. She doesn't have a lot of time. She has real trouble saying no. She has real trouble standing up for herself. She isn't able to say, I'm sorry, I'm busy. Or when she does actually talk to her on the phone, to say, it's been great talking with you, but I've got to go. I've got something I have to do. You know, she's Southern. She lives in Mississippi. She also has ADHD. And setting boundaries is something that's difficult for those of us with ADHD. We're real people. We're often people pleasers. We're generous. We like to give of ourselves, and that's really wonderful. But it's not wonderful when it's in our own expense. One of the things that I talk about a lot is asking for help. When I talk about difficulties with procrastination, one of the solutions I talk about is asking for help, which is great, which is important. Well, this is the opposite of that, the other side of that, which is when other people are asking us for help. And we're not always in a position to give it. It's kind of become a cliche, but there's this, when you're on the airplane and they're going through the safety measures and they talk about the oxygen masks coming down if there's a problem with the air pressure or whatever, they always say, put your mask on first before you help somebody else put their mask on. Because if you put the other person's mask on first and something happens, you lose consciousness, and this is your child, you can't help them at all, right? So this is about taking care of yourself. I did a seminar many years ago where one of the guidelines was take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Not take care of others first and then take care of yourself. And you have to take care of yourself. You have to make self-care a real priority in your life. You need to put it at the top of your to-do list. Exercise, food shopping, food prep, getting enough sleep, critical, meditation, talking with loved ones, staying connected. All those are important parts of taking care of yourself. And if we're not doing that, then we're not going to be able to take care of others. So that means we have to learn how to set boundaries to protect the time that we need to take care of ourselves and to do what's important for us in our lives. I mean, take care of ourselves is also doing our work, doing our job. If we have a business, it's spending the time we need to on our business. And it doesn't mean that we have to, we're not talking about being mean. Learning to say no, saying no to somebody is not about being mean to them. You may have heard I don't know what I'm going to call it, slogan or saying, I say what I mean what I say, but I'm not mean about it. So for my client, if her friend calls her up, she sees on call ID, she doesn't have to answer the phone. So there's that, but it's like, stop, don't answer the phone. You can call them back, and let them leave a message, and you call back later. Or if you pick up the phone and they want to talk, you can say, I'm sorry, I just don't have the time right now. I'll call you later, or let's talk tomorrow, or just, I'm sorry, or if you do talk, you can say, look, I have a few minutes. I'd love to talk with you. I have a few minutes, but then I have something I have to do. And you have to then set that boundary. You have to honor that boundary. It's like you talk for 5 minutes. It's okay, look, love talking to you, but I really need to go. I've got something I need to do. Or, I'm sorry, I'm out of time. Or, again, some way of setting a boundary. You say, okay, I need my time back. There is something I need to do. I can't just stay on the phone with you. Setting boundaries is a lot about learning to say no, whether it's to that neighbor or to a spouse or our partner or your boss. If somebody asks you to do something you don't have time to do, you have to take care of yourself and say no. Because if you don't, you end up taking on too much. Again, when in my program on overcoming procrastination, I talk about being overwhelmed because we have too much to do. And so we put things off and we don't do things because we feel that we have that overwhelmed feeling. Well, the way to avoid that is to not take on things you don't have time to do. And if somebody asks you to do something, let's say your boss asks you to do something else they want you to do, and you're like already stacked up to here, you have to be honest and say, look, I'm working on this report for this deadline or whatever. If I do what you're asking me, I'm not going to be able to get that done. What's your priority? You want me to do this, or you want me to do this? And look, I know that's not easy. Saying no is not comfortable, but we have to practice. We have to practice doing it. It's like the phone call, practice with a friend. Have your friend be your boss, be your spouse. Ask for a favor, ask something, and you practice saying no. Because you have to learn how to do it, or we get in trouble. So that's all I'm going to talk about today in terms of setting boundaries. I've got more to say about it. So on Monday, I'm going to pick up. We'll do setting boundaries part 2. Get a little more into why it's difficult for us to set boundaries. What are some things that go on? How do you know what your boundaries are? How do you know when a boundary's been crossed? And what are the benefits of setting boundaries? So that's going to be on Monday. So to wrap up for today, a couple things. One, if you're not a member of my Living Fully with ADHD Facebook group, please check us out. I'm going to post a link to the group. There are about 220 of us in the group. Conversations, it's a group for support, exploration. Really good group of people. I invite you to check us out. You can join. I just ask you to answer the questions that come up when you put in a request to join. And you know, if it turns out not to be for you, then that's fine. You can leave the group. It's very easy to do. If you'd like to, if you have some comments or questions about what I've talked about today, please post them in a comment and I'll respond to those. If you have a topic or a question you'd like me to talk about in a future Coffee with Coach Ted, please post that in a comment. If you would like to connect further and have a one-on-one conversation with me, type in #connect in the comment. I'll be in touch and we'll set up a scheduled time to talk. And finally, if you're watching this as a replay, type in #replay so I know you were here. So that's it for today. It's 3 degrees here in Boston. Whoa, coldest day of the year. Hope it's warm where you are. And I hope you have a great day and a wonderful weekend. Do some fun things. Important. Do fun things on your anytime. Always important to do fun things, but take some time on the weekend to have some fun things with family or friends, or by yourself. But with other people is better. And that's it. I'm kind of babbling here, so I'm going to say goodbye. Take care. Ciao.